Hello and welcome to Good Clean Gaming. I'm your host Jalindo.
And I'm the wife.
And today we're playing more 80 Days. And today we're playing
80 Days.
And
That's my line. He stole my line.
That is her line. That is not my line. I'll give it back to you. Enjoy. We're going to be going from Honolulu and hopefully getting our Monsieur Fogg better and recovered, and then we're going to be heading out hopefully eventually, and hopefully he doesn't die. So yeah. Hotel.
I didn't think about that. Can he die?
He can die.
And then what? Game over?
Then game over, yes.
Oh, he can finish. In the dude's name, he can finish the journey.
You would think, right? Monsieur Fogg decided we have dallied long enough and...
attempted to leave the hotel.
And attempted to leave the hotel. Alas, it was not 5 minutes before he had to make a dash for the conveniences.
Aww.
How long will this last? I spent the morning coaxing my master to drink a sip of water and then another. I'm not a child, Passepartout, he says sternly, but then drinks meekly.
I believe
he's returning to health. Indeed, I see color in his cheeks once more. Monsieur Fogg's fever broke this morning.
I could almost embrace him.
Thank you for your tending, Passepartout, he said simply, adjusting his cravat. Now, it is past time we left this place. Don't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, plan or go? Are we going to plan for the next trip?
Wait, what does the bank button do?
That's for getting money for loans, but you have to actually stay in the town for like a certain number of days, up to a week, in order to get the money.
Okay. So do you want to go up to America, or do you want to go to South America or Mexico?
I kind of want to go... Well, can we go to Acapulco? It doesn't seem... It looks like this line doesn't go straight to Acapulco for some reason.
All right.
So I guess we'd have to go down here. Is 2100 to Panama City.
Can you click on Acapulco?
Yeah, we can click on it. Oh, sorry.
No, I mean on the...
Sorry, that's Panama City. High-grade iron ore. We have iron ore, so we can go there, and we don't have antique maps. Acapulco, the beaches of Acapulco are often thronged with Mexican holiday makers. San Francisco, we don't know anything about San Francisco. So...
Let's go to Panama.
I agree. I think we should go south to Panama City. I think that gets us closer to our objective. So we're going to stay in a hotel. How many days until we go to Panama? Can't read it. It's white, but it's like drowned out in the color. 2 days. Okay, so let's go stay in the hotel for 2 days. As night fell?
We have enough money, so I want to walk around. But let's not get mugged this time.
I spent a few hours walking around enjoying the sights and smells of this curious part of the world.
Yes!
Yes!
We did not get mugged.
And we have to stay again because they're still not ready to go. Hotel. Before turning in for the night,
Explore!
I went out to explore a little and spoke to a somewhat frantic San Franciscan woman who was looking for a child, whom I found rummaging around through a waste heap near a dog kennel. The woman thanked me, and as we talked, remarked that the quickest way to San Pedro is through Acapulco.
I thanked her.
And she laughed and went about her affairs. Okay, depart. Here we go.
I wonder why we can't go there.
Yeah, I wonder why. Oh well. Panama City. Here we go. They can take 2 suitcases at negative 33 health.
33. He's only at 43 though.
It's the only way to go though.
Okay.
It is an air trip too, which will be fast at least.
Captain Geronimo.
Oh no, this is a ship like this. Okay. We got to get rid of some of our luggage, unless we can hire extra space for 22 pounds.
Yes, because we got a lot of good stuff in our luggage.
Yep, we'll keep that. Promise to be wearisome experience, but the physical restorative set should help. Oh, nice.
Yes.
Baking sunshine and rough seas.
That helps.
That does help. We boarded a sailing ship bound for Panama. Captain Luapo introduced himself, or spent some time, no time for pleasantries.
Captain...
Okay, hold on one second. I got a frog in my throat again today. Captain. Leaning upon a hardwood cane, he had introduced himself. My ma was a nice Samoan fisherwoman, and my pa an Iowan coal hauler in the harbor of Pago Pago. I inherited her broad back and his eye for $1. What do you think?
The crew was a mixed lot.
The crew was a mixed lot of Samoans, Hawaiians, Haitians, and Native Americans, all of whom spoke English twanging with the tones of San Francisco Bay. Fogg?
Yes.
Let's treat him well.
Yeah, he needs it.
During the day, I spent my time...
Let's attend to the master state.
I'd say we need to do that, too. Attending to the master state. And bringing him tea, and he perked up rapidly. Monsieur Fogg and I shared a cabin, which was not so great an imposition. Indeed, we had lodged in many circumstances less congenial on our travels, and I slept soundly on our first night aboard.
Now we need to tend to him as much as possible right now.
Okay, tending to him again. You're most diverting, my good man. Madame Costanza, Captain Leopold's wife, served up our fresh-caught lunch of sea fish, though she confessed that she had not cooked it herself. Toupee is the cook, she whispered. I don't have his skill.
I, too, am envious of cooks.
I, too, am envious of cooks, I confessed in turn. It is a practice which requires patience, and I am not a patient person. She smiled softly, and I could not help but see the long, jagged scar which pinched one side of her mouth upwards.
I could not help but look at it.
And she ran a finger down its length as I watched. You don't have to pretend you don't see it, Madame Costanza murmured. It's hard to ignore.
How did you get it?
How did you get it? I asked, emboldened by her response. I was a threshing automaton operator, and my machine threw a gear. She sucked in a breath. I was lucky to get away so lightly. I have friends who have lost entire arms and legs to such accidents.
You are very lovely nonetheless.
You are very lovely nonetheless, I said with gentle gallantry. She seized a knife from the table and held it to my cheek with a sudden pain snarl. Oh, really? She breathed. Then would you like me to give you a mark like mine?
I yelped.
We
give her a compliment, and she says that?
I yelped, and Captain Luopo appeared as if by magic and settled his arm about Madame Costanza's shoulders. Please, he said, in tones that betokened command rather than request. Refrain from upsetting my wife.
I gave her a compliment!
Your character is now old-fashioned.
Fine. I won't give women compliments anymore.
You see why I don't? I mean, you see that this kind of stuff happens. They hold knives to your face. This stuff happens. Passport, you wonderful little man. Okay. Begin conversation.
No, okay. Now, is that a compliment or an insult?
I have no idea.
You wonderful little man. She's calling him wonderful and a little man at the same time.
You wonderful little man.
Now, shouldn't he now get a knife to her face?
You wonderful little woman. See, that'd be taken the totally wrong way. Panama City. They say that Panama is under Haitian influence these days. Caracas, Balim, Freetown, Pitcairn Island, Bogota. Caracas?
Okay, you pick. I have no idea.
Probably, but the quickest way to Caracas from here would be via Bogota. Now, tell me, did you enjoy your lunch?
We had lunch?
Apparently we did.
Let's say we enjoyed it.
Yes. Fresh caught fish and well seasoned.
Oh, I remember. We were envious of the cook.
Toupee, the chef, will be pleased to hear it. More about Panama City?
Yes.
Seceded from Grand Colombian a few years ago. Bogota, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but you can obtain dinosaur bones in Bogota that will sell for a fortune in Porto Novo. Pitcairn Island, English poetry.
Why is it... Okay, let's do English poetry.
Are you a fan of English poetry, madame? Most generous? Panama. Freetown?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You do better looking for El Dorado itself, I think. Pitcairn?
Sorry, I got distracted by El Dorado.
Probably, but there is neither hotel, bank, nor market in Pitcairn Island. You know, there's an El Dorado, and then there's an El Dorado. And the people in El Dorado do not like you to call it El Dorado. Let me just tell you that. And there's also a Louisville, and there's a Louisville. And the people in Louisville do not like it when you call it Louisville. And just saying from experience, it's a thing. Yeah. Having managed to offend Madame Costanza the previous day, I kept very silent when another passenger asked Captain Luopo how he had injured his leg. I fought a Siberian bear, he said, with every appearance of sincerity.
I looked around at the crew.
I looked around at the crew, who nudged each other and muttered amongst themselves. I heard, said one of the navigators, that you took a dagger to the knee in a duel with a beautiful pirate captain. Captain Luopo smiled. One of the engineers raised his mug. No, I heard you were mauled by a shark off Oahu. Don't be silly, interjected a coal hauler. It was a Haitian ouvrier who used the captain's blood for a spell. Which one are we going to go for? That one, or the last one?
I looked at the captain.
I looked at the captain, who was resting in his chair, his cane at his side, and a smile playing upon his lips. Oh no, the captain's wife interjected in her soft tones. I think he took his wound rescuing a princess, held captive by an evil lord. Costanza! Costanza! Captain Luopo chuckled. You have it backwards. It was the princess that wounded me. He mimed being struck in the heart.
And I wondered if the captain was not rather terrified of his wife.
And her maniacal tendencies.
It was probably her doing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
She probably took the knife and jabbed it in his leg.
Yeah, I would say so. Madame Costanza knocked on my door in the afternoon. We are nearing Panama, she said, pulling shyly at her blonde braid. You should gather your things.
You have been a gracious host, madame.
You have been a gracious host, madame. She looked rather wrong-footed by my declaration, and then nodded once decisively. Be wary of the Haitian automata in Panama, she whispered.
Will they come at me with a knife?
Will they come at me with a knife? I replied. She glared back, then hurried away, and I disembarked the ship with my master and greeted Panama City. Good gracious, that was rather more exhausting than I anticipated. Let's check the market.
Ooh, we can sell lots of stuff.
Oh. Okay. Ooh, evening jacket. I don't really want to sell my evening jacket, though. That's part of my set, my Englishman set. Buffalo hide, we're going to sell here. We can sell the harmonica. And Acapulco, San Francisco, Port Royale, antique map and Dakar. Sour, earnest soldier types, air sickness pills, sugarcane. Let's buy it all, right? It's worked so far.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to Acapulco because we couldn't get there.
Safety harness can go. Let's buy
Are we going to be in the air
cane.
again?
We may. I mean, I don't know if we're going to hit
how
another
we're getting across the Atlantic.
And that'll be everything we can buy. So let's explore. We may have to give up some of our suitcases, but I didn't want to do that, you know.
Yeah, I know we're going to sell a lot of it in America.
There's Lima.
Why
and
not
then it goes
Lima?
up. Lima Bean. Panama City seemed a town perpetually on the edge of disaster. A great number of inhabitants had immigrated to California during the gold rush 20 years ago.
The 49ers, as they were called.
The 49ers, as they were called, great football team, at least in the 90s, had left empty spaces which were quickly filled by new immigrants, created a multiracial polyglot society.
I went exploring
to see if I could find anything useful to our journey, and stumbled upon the construction of a Panama Canal. Great quantities of stone and dirt were being thrown into the air, undercut by the whistle of steam escaping and boilers rumbling.
I went back to my master.
Leaving the canal diggers to their busy, noisy endeavors. Okay, I guess we're staying in the hotel then, right? Let's plan for tomorrow. I'm guessing we're going to want to go up to Acapulco.
Oh, yeah, now we can go.
To Acapulco, yes.
Yeah.
So it's 3:20, and we'll go up that way.
Days?
That is going to be ready in 3 days.
Okay.
And then presumably we can go up there, from there up to like San Pedro or Albuquerque or something up north, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's do that. And that'll be, did I say 1 day?
3 days.
3 days. 3 days. 3 days. 3 days? Wow. That's a long wait. Alright, 3 days. Monsieur could use the sleep anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That evening, I strolled the streets, avoiding the digging works, only to find myself accosted by a group of Panamanian dynamite blasters. They were a mix of city boys and Choco immigrants from the villages, united by their dislike of the Haitian digging crew.
Chocobos?
Chocobos!
They seemed keen to talk.
You made a good choice refusing the Haitian devil. Shafil, the unofficial leader of the blaster crew, patted me on the shoulder. Their machines drink blood.
They are merely machines.
They are merely machines. I waved away their superstition. Not magical in the least. You have not been here long, you will see. Shafil gave me a dark look. We are leaving Panama before our blood ends up in a vat. You should leave too if you have any sense.
Where are you headed?
Where are you headed? We are making for Tabatinga in the Amazonas. Shafil gave me a considering look. We may have some space for men of talent and determination. A little further on, I encountered someone quite different, a tall black woman overseeing one of the engineering sites, who introduced herself as Fanchon. Ah, a visitor from France, she smiled lopsidedly. Have you come to take back your canal? It will not be so easy. She raised her fists playfully.
Madame?
Madame, I greeted her, and she took my hand.
We are travelers.
Madame, we are travelers looking for to journey onward. I too am traveling on, and I have she smiled, a little craft of my own devising. But it needs a few parts. You know how these things are.
What kind of craft?
What kind of craft? I asked, intrigued. She shrugged. It's a kind of bird, she replied. But she is, you might say, injured at the moment. My master and I are going around the world, I declared. How exciting for you, she replied, though I do not think she meant it, and her eyes were moving away into the middle distance.
I say goodbye.
You don't ask if you could travel with her? Just see where she's going?
Well, I just didn't know. I was scared to say that, and then, we have to go with her.
Okay. So you don't want to say that?
Okay, go ahead. You seem to want to know.
I'm just curious. Perhaps we could travel with you, I asked, when your craft is repaired? She looked at me as though judging my character by inferring the way my parts were fitted together. As I say, it will take some time to repair, or some manpower. Time and manpower, they are both realized by one thing.
We are but simple travelers.
We are but simple travelers, I told her. And I am a simple engineer with sadly expensive tastes in the parts I use. She named a figure, and it made my eyes water slightly. Well?
It was not unfeasible.
It was not unfeasible.
Yeah.
We will consider it. Very good, she replied. I bid Madame Fanchon goodbye, at least until we decided whether we could afford such help as hers. New route discovered. Down to Bogota, down to blah blah blah.
I was kind of scared it would take us in a storyline that would have us go with her out of the way and all this.
We can go to Port-au-Prince, but it's 8,000. Or we can go to Acapulco for 320. To Acapulco! Or we can go down to Tabatinga for 180.
That's going out of the way.
Yep, let's not do that.
Already on day 44?
Sleep. Sleep. Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
Let's attend to him a little more.
We took a room and settled in, and I attended to Monsieur Fogg. Relations have increased slightly. Depart. Did I miss the... Oh, tomorrow. I'm off by one day. I guess we're sleeping again. For the last few hours of the evening,
I afforded my master every service.
Get
him as healthy as possible.
Ensuring he was comfortable with the hopes he would have a restorative night. And strengthen slightly. Depart. To Acapulco?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, here we go to Acapulco. Embark on a horse and buggy. Four suitcases, negative 32 health. Yes?
Yes.
Dusty roads and uncomfortable conditions. It looks like a wearisome option, but the physical restorative set should soften things a little. And we have just enough space for our 4 suitcases.
Horse and buggy through Mexico.
Yep. One could hire a caliche to travel the length of Central America, along which a good quality road had been established. There was only one curiosity.
There was no driver.
There was no driver. The carriage ran itself on a system of wheels and cogs and leather straps.
What if we encounter an unexpected obstacle?
I demanded of my master, or a gap in the road. I am confident that the makers of this device will have considered that, he replied as he stepped aboard. Come. Would that I shared that confidence, my friends. I guess we'll converse.
What about... Yeah, Fogg's pretty good.
What is your wish, master? Why, my dear passepartout? Money. Do we have enough in our wallet? We are quite comfortable, I must say. You have been most cautious so far. Acapulco? They say that there are many artifacts made by Aztec artificers there. Panama City. Oh, he's reading the Times, the New York Times. Anything in the Times concerning Panama City? Well, some buyers will pay well for evening jackets from Panama City. On the map, the road to Acapulco seems to trace a hairline route along the curve of Central America, and I have expected the caliche to teeter left and right between the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. In reality, of course... Oh, sorry.
But the carriage.
But the carriage was soundly made and hardly rocked at all. A relief, since we were mostly on mountainside roads with long, uncharitable drops mere inches from every turn. The steering was automatic, another plus, since I did not fancy my chances on the hairpins. A gauge installed by the crafty builders of the mechanical horse showed the distance to our destination.
As computed.
As computed by the remaining steam pressure in the engine, which I realized meant that, should we be hit by unexpected delay, we might well run out of oomph before reaching our destination. We rattled along in this contraption, my master and I, for at once absolutely alone. Our relations have strengthened slightly. Nothing to do. On our second day, the carriage screeched to a sudden halt. Someone had laid a log across the road.
I looked about before getting out.
I looked about before getting out, but saw nothing of interest besides the scrubs, the rocks, and the dust. Monsieur Fogg looked at me expectantly. He was right, of course. There was no option.
I got out.
I got out, and as soon as I was in view, I heard a shout. Don't move! We're taking your vehicle.
Man, I knew it was a trap. Show yourselves!
Show yourselves, I called back, whirling about. I won't fire if you don't. A lone figure rose from behind a rock, sighting along the barrel of a gun. My own Smith & Wesson was in my hands. I just want the vehicle, it called in a thick Mexican accent. Don't want to hurt you, but I will.
Come No. I warn you, I'm a crack shot.
I warn you, I'm a crack shot, I lied. So am I, the voice replied. It was a standoff. The figure took a few tentative steps down the hillside, and that was when I noticed Monsieur Fogg creeping through scrub around the back of the caliche.
I kept my sights level.
Giving my master time to encircle the shrub. There's 10 of us, 2 of you, the bandit called, though I did not believe it. Then Monsieur Fogg stood up directly behind the figure.
I tried to gesture
him. We should probably keep this gun steady at the guy, shouldn't we?
Yes, I guess. I don't have to shoot anybody.
I hope not. I kept the gun steady. But to be honest, the bandit was so surprised the effect of my having it was rather lost. Now then, my master said sensibly, perhaps we can all get on with our journey. The figure whirled about to face Monsieur Fogg, and I
called for calm.
We can all travel together, I declared, peaceably. The figure shook his head and stepped towards the caliche. I'm taking your carriage. Now get that tree trunk out of the road.
We won't do anything of the sort.
We won't do anything of the sort, I replied. You need our help, and we want you to take us to Acapulco. I don't need you, the figure replied. I placed that log there myself. I can remove it with you both dead if I need to.
We moved the log.
And this is why you have to shoot the guy. We moved the log, huffing and puffing. It took all 3 of us. As we moved it, the kerchief slipped from the bandit's face for a moment, and I glimpsed Cupid's bow lips.
You're a lady.
You're a lady, I declared. And you will be a dead man if you don't keep quiet, she replied, re-knotting the kerchief. Then we had the log moved. The bandit hopped aboard.
Take us with you.
Take us with you, I pleaded. Don't leave us out here. The bandit removed her kerchief, then waved her gun. Get aboard, she demanded roughly. She did not need to ask twice. We boarded to ride the rest of the journey into Acapulco in stony silence.
Wow.
We completed our ride into Acapulco. The lady's name was Catalina Barraza, and she was going nowhere. Instead, she was running away.
From your husband?
From a husband, perhaps? She laughed. The working conditions in the factory where I'm employed. I hear there's a better life to be had in Acapulco, and I no longer care not to try it out.
Then I wish you good fortune.
Then I wish you good fortune, I replied, because I did not think things would be any better there. We rode the rest of the way in silence, and were grateful to disembark the caliche and stretch our legs. Some of our possessions should be quite valuable here. Market. Oh, good. Rifle. Let's sell the iron ore because it's worth something here. Let's sell the Smith & Wesson. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What good it did us. Let's rearrange our stuff here a little bit. Loaded dice. Left of the law. Got the sugar cane. Valuable in Salt Lake City. San Francisco and Burlington. Got the mate. Or whatever that is. We're gonna have to get another suitcase. Another suitcase. Okay. Man. We have a lot of suitcases. I completed a criminal set which should help us negotiate times in lawless journeys. Let's explore. The French had tenuous hold of the Mexican port of Acapulco. The bay was crowded with ships firing upon each other, and airships rained fire and misery down upon the slope-roofed buildings. French soldiers fought Mexicans in the smoke-wreathed streets. We decided to explore the city, the better to find a way to leave.
We headed away from the fighting.
We headed away from the fighting to the outskirts of the city. A risky venture, considering our white skin would mark us as foreigners in a besieged city. Still, I had little desire to
Set myself between two armies.
I hoped we could avoid the clash with the soldiers altogether. We had not gone far before we were scooped up by a Mexican patrol of irregulars, led by a smiling Madame Gonzalez Pina. "You don't look like French army," she remarked in Spanish with a look of surprise.
You're travelers?
"We are travelers," I explained, merely caught up in the unpleasantness. The craven siege of a Mexican city by French aggressors. Is this what you mean by unpleasantness? She raised an eyebrow, hefting her rifle with a practiced grip.
Indeed.
Indeed, I replied, not knowing what else to say exactly. Madame Gonzalez Pina was, it turned out, a certified doctor when there wasn't a siege unfolding. Directed us to a makeshift hospital set up in one of her friend's villas.
How can we leave this city?
How can we leave this city? I demanded. There are automatic carriages, even airships heading north. She replied, you should avail yourselves of them. Leave this place before our reinforcements arrive, for they will not welcome you. Feeling rather as if she had understated the matter, I was resolved to take her advice and leave Acapulco as soon as we could find the means. New routes discovered. Looks like San Francisco, Acapulco to San Pedro is going to be a route. And then we have a route to Houston as well. Okay. So I think here is a good place to cut the episode. We are healthy. We have a good bit of money. Not a whole lot, but a good bit.
Nobody got shot.
Nobody got shot. There's that. That's always a positive.
But we need to leave as soon as possible.
Yeah, we need to leave so that we don't get shot. And yeah, so hopefully you'll join us for that one. We're in the Americas. We're going to be heading northeast, hopefully. Mm-hmm. Unless the wife decides to go in an opposite direction. We'll be heading northeast and heading towards London. So thanks so much for watching. I've been Jalindo.
I'm the wife.
This has been
80 Days.
And remember, hit the
subscribe button
so that you can see future
videos like this.
And remember,
keep it clean.
Yay, it worked.